Here's a good one. Knock, knock, who's there? Arden, Arden. Arden, you the quack who'd make a better duck.
Pepper, 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 bo, pepper, banana, fana, fo, pepper, fee, fi, mo, mepper, pepper.
She's crowning. He took one look at the shape of my head, and I was locked up for good. That's how it works with us freaks. We get blamed for everything.
Oh, Pepper. Now tell me, why is it we don't allow food in the rooms?
Rats!
That's right, Pepper. Why can't you get that through your pointy little head?
You don't fool me for 1 second.
Take her for quiet soak in the hydrotherapy room and turn up the temperature 10 degrees.
We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency broadcast.
Pepper, please!
Yeah, fine, go.
Stupid man.
Grossman now?
Danke.
Naomi, welcome to the Weekend of Horrors and the Dog Zone.
Thank you.
I think it's the second time for you in Germany, right?
Third time in Germany, the second time with you.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Obviously, we'd like to talk about the American Horror Story and your role as Pepper.
Right.
Maybe we can go back all the way to the start. Tell us, how did you become Pepper? How does a normal-looking, young, good-looking woman become Pepper?
Some creative casting, for sure. Well, I got the call. I got an audition, and it is interesting. They didn't let on as to what they were exactly casting. Basically, the way it works in Hollywood is they have what they call a breakdown that goes out to all the agents and managers and some actors to give them an idea of what they're looking for. They never actually said Pinhead. And I think that's just because the show is so secretive. If they said Pinhead, then all of a sudden jig is up, everybody knows what they're looking for. So the breakdown in my case was simply 4 to 5 feet tall, so petite, possibly malformed, childlike. So like I said, I am small. I'm not malformed, nor can I be. If they want that, they'll find that. And then childlike, that's really in my acting. I can do that. I knew not to wear, bootylicious anything. I had to play that part down, but. At the end of the day, they needed an extreme character actress, and that's exactly what I am. But I do remember going into the waiting room and seeing pretty much all little people in the room and thinking, should probably have a conversation with my agent, because there is a difference between, little person and just petite. But then the actual audition was very interesting. They had me do a monologue of Jessica Lange's from season 1. And they also gave me a ball, and they asked me to try to get them to play with them. And obviously now, for those who've watched Asylum in particular, they know what they were going for. They wanted to see that I had range, that I could go from, the early playful Pepper to the later evolved Pepper. But it wasn't really until I was actually in meetings with makeup that I actually learned what the character was about. I really had no idea. The callback was a meeting with makeup. They took a bunch of pictures of me, which they manipulated to see what I would look like as this character. And they did that with a few actors. They found a handful of girls that they knew could handle the role, and then apparently I looked best, which is interesting because, so many times as we're coming home from an audition, at least I am constantly sort of beating myself up afterwards, thinking, I should have done this, or I didn't do that. And it's sort of nice to know, sometimes it just comes down to the bridge of your nose, So, I guess the bridge of my nose isn't so bad after all.
So when did they tell you that you have that unique haircut?
You know, that was later, and I actually did the casting people a huge favor, because while they did ask me in those initial makeup meetings whether or not I would be amenable to shaving my head, I didn't really answer. I just said, I don't know that would look very good, but I didn't actually say yes or no. So it wasn't until finally after I was cast that they said, so how, you know, would you be willing to do this for us? And I said yes, because it was pretty obvious to me that I don't know if it was a deal breaker, but I just didn't even want there to even be a possibility of this deal, falling through. So I agreed to it. I knew this was a big opportunity and I didn't want to blow it. But at the end of the day, had I said no, that would have put the casting people in a really tough spot. And so they've since thanked me. Thank you so much for doing that. And I'm glad,
Stupid man. You think they'd allow you to continue your barbaric practice? You move, boss.
Snake eyes. Percy, knock it off. Dr. Miller should check him.
And she's harmed in any way, there won't be anyone else to blame. They'll take you, open up your head, and stir your brain with a fork. And when you return, you'll experience firsthand how people treat us freaks. You okay, boss? You look a little green around the gills.
They gave me a roommate.
Stocking us up like cordwood. You can't put stock into his promises, too.
Oh, no. You're being too harsh. I saw something in his eyes.
There's nothing there. Why don't you go to your whore nun? Have her soothe your deflated ego.
Play with me. Pepper, leave a lady alone.
Oh, it's fine.
She was only trying to make friends.
Out by 16 or dead in the scene, but together forever.
That's so inappropriate. Oh my god.
You always wanted me.
Jacob Goodnight is dead! No, it was him!
He's a goddamn corpse! It's him!
Oh, really? What about this? This is probably not a good idea either, right? It's probably a terrible idea. Cool.
Out by 16 or dead this even together for fucking ever!
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue the Q&A with Katharine, Isabelle, and the other guy. Jesse Moss, the other guy. Yeah, he's my backup dancer. I'd like to see that. Is it? It's not your first time in Germany, is it?
It's my first time.
It's both of our first times in Germany.
First time in Germany and first convention. Ever. Yeah.
Ever.
I'm a convention virgin.
But I almost forgot about you.
You almost did.
Like I almost. I'm sorry. So, how do you like it? How do you enjoy yourself?
In Germany? Yeah, it's been, I mean, we've only been here for a night. We broke a town last night.
Yeah, we really went all out.
We did. We put on a show at some place, and some other place, and some other place. Yeah, everyone's been really nice. And, yeah.
This is the Ruhrpott, there's not much damage to do.
Yeah.
Pretty structured, actually. So, you two know each other from Ginger Snaps.
Ginger Snaps.
Correct.
Yep, and also...
I raped him in the back of a Volvo.
Yep, that was interesting for me.
Yeah, it was.
You were quite gentle.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
You're welcome.
But we Ginger Snaps, and we were also in 13 Erie together.
We were also in 13 Erie. We were also in Cedar Cove together. We've been in a bunch of stuff. You can't get rid of him.
They like our chemistry.
Yeah. We're so good.
But you both started acting from a very early age. You did Goosebumps.
Yep.
We both did Goosebumps.
Yeah. Afraid of the Dark, all that fun stuff.
I love Goosebumps when I was...
Yeah. Who doesn't?
I fought a killer sponge in Goosebumps, so that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Do you think it's problematic for a young child to start acting?
Totally.
Yeah.
Look at us.
I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend it to anybody. No, I was sold into the film industry very young. My parents are filmies. So I just kind of, your parents grow potatoes, you're a potato farmer. It's just kind of what I fell into doing, and then, should have got a real job at some point, but...
Probably should. It's not as damaging unless you're like a
because we weren't famous. Like, we were just working actor kids, so we didn't get... horribly damaged, we don't think.
We still went to school and things like that, right?
You did.
Yeah, I did. You still don't graduate.
Grade 4.
One question I got from you, since you both play horror movies, what is the worst kind of monster? Werewolves, vampires?
Fucking spiders. Spiders are the worst. I wouldn't do anything with a spider.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah, no, spiders are, there's Freddy, anybody, that's fine. The fucking spider on the floor, like a running fast spider, I'm done. Or scary clowns. Fuck scary clowns.
Maybe a worse spider or something.
Yeah, wolf spiders are terrible. I used to live on an island called Salt Spring Island, and we had wolf spiders that were so big, like they hurt when they ran across you in the middle. They were horrible. I hate them.
What about a spider clown?
No.
I read that you refused to do nude scenes, and you got a bodybuilder.
Yeah, well, it's not like I would never do. I just,
You gotta pick the project.
You gotta pick your project. Yeah. I got 50% approval though, so it was an awkward moment in a trailer where some girl flashed me her tits, and I was like, yeah, this'll do.
Kinda looks like mine.
Yeah, sure. They're way bigger, it's way better. I'm doing a really cool movie next year called Origami with a friend of mine, Randall Plunkett, in Ireland. And it's a horror movie, and horrible things happen to me, of course. And yeah, it'll be really fun. I'm looking forward to hanging out in Ireland for a while and killing some people. Yep. I've got a silly sex comedy out called How to Plan an Orgy in a Small Town. We're working actors, so we just kind of are like homeless gypsies floating around doing whatever anyone wants us to do.